So I've been advocating for a train to be built to Monash since I started here almost 16 years ago. And my daughter at the time was very young, and I said to her that when you go to university, I will organise for you to get to the university by a train. Unfortunately, my daughter's in year 12 at the moment and she's doing very well. She's going to get excellent results. She'll hopefully come to Monash. Unfortunately, I haven't built that train yet. But maybe if she stays at the university long enough and does a master's and a PhD, she might get the train as well. For students at Monash, a rail line is really critical for a number of reasons. There's an access issue. Predominantly we are restricted by making them drive by car and then having to struggle to find car parks, giving them easy access to be able to come onto campus, to be able to leave quickly, because students nowadays really have complex lives. They've got their study, which they need to be on campus, but they often have part-time jobs that can be in different places. They also have social lives, they want to get out and about. So the transport for us is about giving them appropriate, cheap, easy, accessible access that gives them the opportunity to get onto campus and get onto their jobs and social lives as well. We're increasingly seeing staff getting frustrated, getting caught in traffic, getting caught in congestion along the Monash Freeway, along the other major feeder roads. So being able to jump on a train, get to work and get home really quickly and efficiently is important to staff as well as the students. About 3 years ago, we really got to crisis point where the number of students and staff had grown to the point they were outnumbering the number of available car spots. And so we actually had a point where we've said we've got to change the direction. So in the short term, we've built some additional car parks. We put some additional car parks on our northern multi-storey car park. But in the long term, that's not sustainable. And so we know, because of the pressure on car parks and drivers, we need to shift people into other modes of transport. So we need to get them into public transport, we need to get them walking, we need to get them riding to campus. All of those things are really important to ensure that we're using the campus in the right way. And by that I mean, we don't want to continue to just keep building car parks. That's not valuable use of land. We want to use the land for teaching, for research. So the more we can push people into public transport, into bike riding, into walking, we can use our land and the car parks for far more valuable activities than just parking a car. We've got development plans over the next 5 to 10 years that will just increasingly make this a centre of excellence in teaching and research. We're about to spend over the next 5 years about $1 billion worth of capital money to increase our research, our teaching. We're increasingly putting student residents on campus as well. So we recently finished a 1,000-bed new student accommodation right in the heart of the campus. So the campus itself will continue to grow. We will increasingly have more students and we'll need the buildings and infrastructure to support that. But the residence is adding a new dimension because we're putting students that live here, are here all the time, and it changes the campus life. So the campus will be active from sun up to sundown and even into the night. Ultimately, our growth will require mass transport, and that's the issue for us, is we need those longer trains taking thousands of students every train ride, as opposed to buses which only can take hundreds. So we will survive, but it's certainly a limiting factor for us, and we are keen at some point for the government to finally commit to building a train, not only to Monash University, because we recognise the train will service the whole district, and that's probably the more impactful thing. This is about jobs, it's about the economy, and it's about access to Monash University, Australia's largest university. So the innovation precinct that we sit in really includes the university. You've got CSIRO at the north of our campus. You've got the Australian synchrotron across the road on Blackburn. We've got the Sir John Monash High School. We've got the Monash Medical Centre only about 800 metres away. And we've really got a emerging innovation industry groups around us as well. So we talk about rail being really important for Monash University, but it's actually more important for the whole district and the whole area. It's a major employer, this area, so it's about the university, but it's also about the region. We're doing this from good practical access issues, but we're also doing it for good solid environmental reasons as well. We want to see people using sustainable transport that has fewer carbon emissions, so we are contributing to reducing the environmental impact of carbon emissions and obviously climate change. One of the unique things about building a train line out to Monash is we'll create a counterflow. And if you think about it, you want to be able to take full trains into the city and you want to take full trains out of the city to maximise the asset, i.e. the train infrastructure. So Monash, because of the large employment and the university in and around us, will create the opportunity for the government to really maximise the train line by creating that counterflow. So thousands of students every morning coming away from the city towards us, and then obviously in the night time going back into the city or into the inner suburbs as well. So it's a good economic proposition to create a train system that creates that opportunity for the counterflow. Monash sees that public transport is a state government responsibility, and we certainly want to support and encourage the state government to ultimately build infrastructure that supports not only Monash but this region. But we've importantly really allowed for that train to come to Monash by incorporating it in our master planning. So we at the front of the campus have planned that ultimately there will be the opportunity for a train to pull up out the front of our campus for the students and staff to be able to easily and effectively decant out of the buildings into the train. But ultimately it is a state government, and hopefully supported by the federal government as well, initiative, and we're doing everything we can to advocate both at federal and state level for politicians to really recognise that this is a long-term investment in infrastructure that supports the state and ultimately the nation.